Hi, today I want to share benchmark results comparing two different runtimes for the popular Node.js framework, NestJS, plain Node.js and Bun. I will be testing them in various scenarios to evaluate their performance across different use cases. This test is intended to determine how much of a performance boost you can gain by simply switching your regular NestJS application's runtime to Bun without making any code changes. I conducted 3 separate tests to compare these technologies. The goal is to evaluate their performance in different scenarios and understand how they behave across various use cases. First test case is a simple API route that returns a hard-coded response. It is similar to the most Hello World style tests and demonstrates the maximum possible performance for each runtime. Second test case is closer to a real-world application. An API route that retrieves 30 random records from a PostgreSQL database. Third test case is an API route that generates a JWT token, decodes it, and returns the decoded token as a JSON response. These tests are designed to highlight how each technology handles different types of workloads. Let's take a look into our code. For the NestJS application, I decided to put all the code into one controller. Here is the first case, here is the second, and here is the third one. Now let's take a look into the database structure. I created pretty standard user table with fields like ID, name, email, password, some additional info and timestamps for records. Table has 2 indexes, ID as a primary key and unique index for email field. To test both applications simultaneously, I deployed them on the cloud using DigitalOcean, which offers a reasonable pricing model and all the necessary features for this setup. Each application server runs on the smallest available instance with 1 CPU and 512 MB of RAM, allowing us to see how much performance we can achieve with minimal resources. For the database server, I used a larger instance to ensure that its performance wouldn't become a bottleneck during testing. I used Prometheus and Grafana on my local machine to monitor and visualize the performance metrics. Let's begin with our first test case. At the beginning, unexpectedly, we can see that Node.js version performs a little bit better than Bun. Let's continue looking to see if this trend will go on. And now, as I expected, Bun starts to show better performance than Node.js. Let's speed up our test to see the final results. Finally, the test is finished. Let's review the results. As we can see, Bun here is a clear winner across all the metrics except memory usage. Let's move on to our second test case, which represents the real-world scenario for the common web application. Right from the start, we can definitely see that Bun version performs much better. It shows better results across all the metrics except the memory usage. Let's speed up our test to see the final results. Finally, the test is finished. Let's review the results. As we can see, Bun here is a clear winner across all the metrics except memory usage. Let's finally start our last test. As we can see right from the start, Bun version shows much better performance in terms of requests per second, average latency, and P99 latency. Let's continue with our tests to see if this trend will go on. At this point, we definitely can see which technology is a clear winner in this test. Let's speed up our test to see the final results. At this point, both apps reached their limits, so we can definitely finish our test. Test is finished. Let's review the results. As we can see, Bun definitely wins this test by a huge margin. As you can see, we have a clear winner across all the test cases. It is Bun. In first test case, in terms of max RPS, Bun was 28% better. In terms of average latency, it was 74% better. In terms of average P99 latency, it was 68% better. In terms of max memory usage, it was a little bit worse, but the difference is very insignificant, only 1.2%. In the second test case, we can see the same result, but with bigger percent difference in max RPS, 63.4%. In terms of average latency, the difference is 50.8%, and the average P99 latency is 38.8% better. In terms of max memory usage, Node.js is a little bit better this time again. 5.8% better result. In the third test case, Bun outperforms Node.js by a huge margin. For max RPS, it was 7.5 times better. For average latency, it was 16 times better. And for average P99 latency, it was almost 10 times better. And again, similar to previous test cases, Bun consumed a little bit more memory. This time it was almost 13% different. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video with others. Let me know in the comments which framework do you prefer and if there are other benchmarks you would like to see. Also feel free to check out my Patreon and other resources linked below to support the channel. Stay tuned for more insights on development and architecture.